YouTube, thank you so much for stopping by my channel again, Clever with Cash. If you haven't already done so, please make sure to hit the subscribe button. On my channel, you'll find videos about personal finance, how I got out of debt, paying over $48,000 off in debt, money tips, budgeting. I go into my budget and how much I make and where my money is going. Today's video is going to be all about home ownership and the things that I wish that I knew about home ownership. So in October 2020, I purchased my very first home, and I was very excited about doing this because I was moving from an apartment to a home, and I was very tired of apartment living because I feel like you're living on top of people. Since being a homeowner, I've learned quite a few things, even though since recording this video, it's been about 10 months since I've been in my home. The very first thing that I wish I would have known is pest control. Pest control is so annoying, especially if you live in the South or any area that's very hot and tropical, hot and humid. There are lots and lots of bugs. So I do purchase pest control, and it's like a quarterly expense, but they do come out more frequent than that if you need them to address any issues with bugs inside and outside your home. And fire ants are driving me crazy. In Houston, this is a big problem. Actually, in Southeast Texas, it's a very big problem because it's just hot and humid, and it's like the ideal climate for them to live in. So they're like everywhere. And in addition to using pest control, I'm constantly going outside and boiling water and pouring hot water on them, and it's getting rid of most of them. And I've even purchased my own ant supplies. So I'm like, ugh. Even though I tried to be organic as possible, but fire ants are not from here, so it's very difficult to be organic with some pests. So I wish that I would have known that. Solicitors, people come by your home all the time. If someone next door to you or someone down the street from you is getting their roof fixed or their plumbing fixed or anything, people just come and stop by your house and offer their services. This can be very redundant and sometimes flat out annoying. Sometimes I entertain them by talking to them, and because if it's something that I'm interested in, I, learn about it, like the roof repairs, but for the most part, I try to steer clear of them. So luckily I got a Ring doorbell so I could kind of filter out who comes and who doesn't come, or who I answer the door for. Soil compaction. I know this is so random, but I would have never thought that soil compaction would be something that would be such a big deal, but it really is. Soil quality, if the previous homeowner did not take care of the soil, you're gonna have a soil problem. So in parts of my yard, there's absolutely no grass. It's just like bare ground, and there's lots of soil compaction, and it's taking a long time to get rid of that. So I watched numerous YouTube videos about soil compaction and getting rid of it. So I'm having to plant things in those places, native species, native plants, and also having to just amend the soil by adding, compost and all these other things to that. But that goes along with landscaping. I did expect to cut the yard and weed eat and all those things, but I never thought that soil quality would be very important, especially if you have a typical lawn. Typical lawn have shallow roots, so your soil can be compacted easily. Security. Even though I consider myself to stay in a fairly safe neighborhood, I still am somewhat concerned about my security. So I had to purchase numerous lights to go throughout my backyard so that, if someone walks by, the light comes on. And also, I already had a security alarm system for my apartment, but my apartment is so much smaller that I didn't have to worry about these things like security lights. The apartment had those there. It's just something that I didn't think about. Only had to focus on like my doors, my windows, but now I have like a floodlight. Had to put lights in the yard, a Ring doorbell. That's very important. Just because if you're getting packages delivered, you don't want anyone to take your package. In my apartment, I stayed on the first floor, so I was able to just ask the Amazon people to put the package on the patio, since they could reach the patio. That way no one could see the package. And that worked fairly well, but in the house, not so much. And the last one is that Rome wasn't built in a day. My grandmother used to always tell me this, because sometimes I really rush to getting to my goals and I just want to just get to where I'm going like really quickly. But when it comes to home ownership, that applies very much. You have to prioritize things that you're purchasing for your home and any upgrades that you want to make. So when I initially bought my home, I saw lots of things that I wanted to change. Like through my walkthrough, I was like, okay, I'm going to change the carpet. I'm going to paint the closets. I'm going to completely renovate the walk-in closets, and I was thinking about changing the tiles in the bathroom and the backsplash and all of those things. Yeah. As soon as I moved in, I was like, okay, that's not a priority. So my priority, like my HVAC system broke and I had to repair that. So that was more of a priority. Just getting little things for your home like that you need. Like I had to get a lawnmower, a weed eater, especially if you're a first time home buyer. You have to buy a lot of these things. Security lights, security system. So a lot of the things that you think you're gonna focus on is put on the back burner. Also like decorations and decor and furniture. A lot of those things come first before any upgrades in your house. So you really have to prioritize what is important and what isn't important when it comes to your home. And that's probably the most important thing that I've learned. Even when like friends or family members be like, well, why don't you do this? Or why don't you do this to your home? Yeah, why don't you get some shelves in your garage to organize? Yeah, that's not a priority. Priorities, you have to set priorities for yourself and not be trying to keep up with what other people think you should do, and also keep up with what other people are doing in their life, because everybody's on a different financial journey and ultimately it's coming out your pocket. So that's probably the most important lesson that I've learned since home ownership, something I didn't know, that it was not, Rome is not built in a day. We constantly see on TV, you watch HGTV, you may watch a makeover show, and I know I used to watch those growing up and still do. You have a designer come in and then within 30 minutes the house is completely renovated, and they show the renovation costs and all these things. In the real world, no one has just $50,000. Well, most people don't have $50,000 just laying around to do renovations. So these are some things that I wish I had known before purchasing a home. Not that I regret purchasing a home at all. I think homeownership has been probably one of the most significant milestones in my adulthood. It just feels good to have a home that is your own and to also be able to make it your own. You just have to be very patient, and it's also a great investment as well, especially in today's market. My market value has increased so much since buying my home, and I didn't even put as much money into my home. So hopefully you found this video helpful in your home buying process. For more video about personal finance, make sure to hit the subscribe button.